Good evening. We'll call this public hearing to order. This is for the financial plan of 2018. Just for process, I'll just review. This is a public hearing, and it's the chance for the public to speak for or against the financial plan that we have. There should be copies. If everybody doesn't have a copy, there's a copy on seats. There is a presentation that Councillor Valentino will go through. Anybody coming to the table to speak for or against the financial plan, please write your name and your address on the sheets provided. Reminder to council, this is a public hearing, so the public's chance to speak. We will have a chance to debate the financial plan at a regular council meeting when the resolutions comes forward. I'm not aware of regrets from Councillor Foley or Councillor Collada at this time. So with that, we will move forward, and I'll ask Councillor Valentino to go through the financial plan, and then there will be time for questions at the conclusion of that. Thank you. Councillor Valentino.
I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the Finance and Administration Committee. Sitting on there is Randy McKay, who's here this evening, Milton Goebel, Darren Dodds from Valet and Manisha Pandey, and Jenny Krentz, our CFO, and her finance team. So Paul tells me I'm going to sit, and our city manager, Gary Sepatelli. So this is our 2018 financial plan. This presentation is going to outline our budget highlights, our mill rate comparison, and the tax result comparisons. So some of our budget highlights in this particular budget, as we all know, it's our 4-year Valet grant in lieu agreement that's been signed from 2018 now to 2021. It's a significant reduction in years 2 to 4. And council, not only council, but all of our city employees and staff have reduced our operating expenses by $470,335 for 2018, which this will be added to the general reserve to lessen the impact in future years. So it wasn't just council, there was a group effort by everybody to work towards this reduction. The tourism funding of $400,000 for Thompson hoteliers. This is going to be funded by the accommodation tax in the economic development / tourism reserve. This has already been allocated. 2017 is $200,000 and $200,000 for 2018. Another one of our highlights is there'll be a decrease in our business tax from 4.24% to 3.99%, and this is the second year of reduction in the business tax for this council. Some of our revenue highlights in this budget. Under Section 1643 of the Municipal Act, it states that the financial plan must include a balanced budget, which this is. 2018 is a reassessment year, which is completed by the province. There was a net decrease of 0.3% to assessment. The residential assessments increased 1.8%, while the commercial assessments have decreased by 6%. And in 2018 mill rate, it's been increased by 1.9%, consistent with the 2017 rate of inflation. Some more of our revenue highlights. Our fees and fines schedule has increased by 2%. This is consistent with the 2017 tax increase. This is our fee and fine schedule, and that has taken place effective January 1st of this year. Provincial grants have changed to a basket funding approach, and this will not increase for 2018. Another one of our highlights is we do have $150,000 of provincial funding for our CSO program, and that will end after this year, the provincial funding portion for the program. Some of our reserve highlights in this budget. $998,335 is allocated to the general reserve to assist in lessening the impact of the $1.272 million reduction to Valet grant in lieu beginning in 2019. And this is going to be comprised of $528,000 from the 2018 Valet grant in lieu and the $470,335 from our reduction of expenses. The City of Thompson is going to be retaining the entire grant in lieu, and no portion is going to be allocated to the School District of Mystery Lake or the LGD of Mystery Lake. So in the past, it was divvied up. This year, for this particular grant in lieu, the City of Thompson will be retaining all of it. So from our revenue, it's going to be $31,549,798. This revenue is going to come 33% from our tax levies, 18% from our grant in lieu, 16% from transfers, 15% from sale of goods and services, 15% from our provincial and federal grants, 1% from licenses, permits, and fines, 1% from rentals, 0% from taxes added, 1% from penalties, and no return on investment. So under the provincial and federal grants, this part makes up 15% of our revenues. So it comes in operating grants and capital grants. So you can see under the basket funding grant and the gas tax grants, these amounts are based on the census numbers. So the basket funding for our operating dollars will be $2,669,041. Our firefighter grant will be $328,600. Our MLLC for CSO grant is $15,000. We have a cultural grant of $9,200. We have a CSO grant that I previously mentioned for this year for $150,000, and our ambulance grant for $198,749. So our operating grants that we're going to be receiving is $3,370,590. And on the capital side of things, our gas tax, which is based on the census numbers and is a for sure thing for us, is going to be a grant amount of $742,471. And then we have our municipal road grant of $400,000. So our total capital grants is $1,142,471.
Two comments in regards for clarification. The asterisk, which relates to the census numbers, we receive a number of grants that are census based. The 2016 base census provided a number of 13,674 residents in Thompson. That number will remain in place until 2021, at which time a new census will be taken. So any grant that we receive at this point, unless there's a reduction in the actual grant amount provincially or federally, the formula that plugs in using census numbers, this number will be used, 13,674, until 2021, just to ensure that any impacts of the valet decision that affects residents directly in the next 2 to 3 years will not be reflected in the current census numbers. And secondly, on the capital side, normally you would see on the revenues a $500,000 amount from valet, $600,000 from valet. The recent valet GIL agreement that expired December 31st, 2017, provided for a one-time $3 million allocation for capital projects. This council and the previous council allocated that $3 million over 5 years at $600,000 a year. And so that $600,000 is not available this year in the GIL that was signed, and so it's reflected in the capital plan that has $600,000 less revenue.
Under our sales of goods and services, it represents 15% of our revenue, and this will include $2.3 million in our ambulance revenues, $1.1 million in our garbage pickup and landfill fees, $201,000 for custom work and transit, $780,000 for our recreation revenues, which is our TRCC, including our arenas, Norplex pool, fitness area, and our outside rentals. Our transfers represent 16%. So we have accounts for the transfers from our reserves and to fund our capital projects. So our reserves are the gas tax reserve, infrastructure reserve, equipment reserve, building reserve, and our public safety reserve. So these reserves fund our capital projects. And this is subject to the parameters that council will set on what reserves to pull out for the capital projects. We also have an economic development tourism reserve, an election reserve, affordable housing initiatives, landfill reserves, and the accommodation tax, which is approximately $500,000. Licenses, permits, and fines represents 1%. This will include $45,000 in business licenses, which is approximately 250 licenses annually, $12,500 in animal licenses, $225,000 in building inspections, and this will include plumbing and etc., $125,000 in bylaw and traffic fines, and any other small licenses and taxi transfers will all be included in here. Rentals represent 1%. Our rentals mainly include our RCMP rentals. We have a 25-year lease agreement with them, and we receive rental revenue from the rural RCMP for their proportionate share of the public safety building costs, and the rural RCMP also pay a proportionate share of the debenture for the RCMP building over the lease period. Taxes added and penalties. We're budgeting this year for taxes added of $100,000, and this results from changes in assessments during the year, buildings that have been completed or updated, and reduced to the financial assistance bylaw for 2018. We're also including penalties of approximately $203,000, and this is the monthly amount of 1.25% that is on outstanding taxes. So the 2018 property taxes in thousands. I'm going to go on the next slide with the breakdown, but this represents really each area. So there's one for the city of Thompson, one for the school district of Mystery Lake, the education support levy. You guys can help me fill this one in. There's a few more, right? And the service levy. Under the accommodation tax, the city has budgeted $500,000 in revenue from the hotel accommodation tax. Council has met, and we've been meeting for a while with the hoteliers. Then they collect the accommodation tax, and we reviewed the allocation from the revenues. Through discussion, the level of funding for the Hotel Association is $400,000 for 2018. And if you note from the previous slides, that represents a payment of $200,000 for 2017, and then $200,000 for 2018. The hotel accommodation tax bylaw has been amended to allow council to decide through resolution where the annual funding will be allocated between the following reserves. So this council has decided in 2018 that 50% of the accommodation tax is going to go into the infrastructure reserve, 20% is going to go into the public safety reserve, 10% is going to go into the affordable housing reserve, and 20% is going to go into the economic development / tourism reserve. And this has been passed by resolution at last Monday night's council meeting. This is a good slide because this shows you the projects that have been funded through the accommodation tax. So you can see out of the infrastructure reserve in 2018, the projects that are going to be funded from infrastructure reserve is going to be the City Hall air conditioning, the Public Works building ventilation and overhead doors. There'll be some small capital done, alarm panel, signage, handy van, and some underfloor heating at the TRCC. Out of the Public Safety Reserve, it's going to fund 5 SCBAs, a gear washing machine, and water slide platform. The Affordable Housing Reserve will fund the homeless shelter and the Thompson Agency. And our economic development / tourism is going to fund the Thompson Hotel Association. And you can see at the bottom, this will represent what projects were funded in 2017. So the accommodation tax last year funded the City Hall HVAC system, engineering building ventilation, the cemetery roadwork that's been completed, library air conditioning unit, small capital, signage, and our website. It funded out of the Public Safety Reserve last year the Vedor bags, extrication ram, some small capital, and a Zoll Auto Pulse. Out of the Affordable Housing Reserve, it continued to fund the homeless shelter and the Thompson Housing Agency, and then the economic development portion is funding the Thompson Hotel Association. So now we'll go into some of our expenses, the highlights of our expenses. This will be a status quo budget, because it has to be, and only our contractual increases are included. So all of our fixed cost, so that will include our RCMP contract, our hydro, our caretaking, our CBA increases, and etc. Also is our full year community safety officer budget that's included for 6 members due to the provincial funding that we received of $150,000 for this year. So some of the reductions we've taken place. So council has begun the process of reviewing services to reduce expenses by $1.272 million to address the valet grant in lieu. The following items are being implemented for 2018, which have the least impact on the services provided. Some of these on the list have taken effect already this year, but these are the ones that will be impacted. There will be a reduction of seasonal and summer students by 50%. There will be a reduction in pool hours. There will be a reduction in controlled entity funding. There will be the elimination of the summer day camps at the TRCC. There will be reduction of hours at TRCC front desk. There will be a reduction in waiving of fees. There will be the elimination of one outdoor area attendant. There will be a reduction of admin training. There will be the elimination of all meals at any meetings. And there will be a reduction in taxes to the landfill. This pie chart shows you what our 2018 expenses for the city will be. You can see 32% of our expenses are coming from protective services, 18% fiscal services, 12% transportation services, 12% recreation and culture services, 12% transfer from reserves, 7% general government, 4% environmental health services, 2% economic development services, 1% public health and welfare services, and really nothing for environmental development services. So our total expenses will be $31,549,798. For our 2018 budget, these are the costs by category now. You'll see that 51% is covered by salaries and benefits. 19% of our costs are the RCMP contract. 6% is debenture. 4% is outside agencies. 4% is hydro, propane, and water. 4% goods and materials. 3% repairs and maintenance. 2% waste disposal. 2% services from others. 1% insurance. 1% rentals. 1% legislative costs. 1% for an allowance for doubtful. 1% for training and travel. And 1% for other. This chart represents our year-over-year summary in thousands. The bright pink part on the bottom represents what our operating dollars will be for 2018, and the light purpley part on top represents our fiscal costs. So you can see in 2018 fiscally it will be $9,525,000, and operating will be $22,025,000. If you go to the far end to 2011, you can see the big bright purple number is $14,175,000, and that's the year of the building of the TRCC. Talking about our debentures now, the city has an available borrowing limit for the debentures of $33.4 million. We've talked a lot about the new wastewater treatment plant, and we will require a debenture room of $12.167 million. The principal of $8,353,509 is outstanding on existing debentures. This excludes anything to do with utility or utility debentures. So in our 2018 budget, we're going to have a total payment of $1,360,930. And out of that, $962,747 is going to be a principal payment, and $398,183 of that will be an interest payment. This chart here represents the completion of our debentures, and it goes in order of year. On the top right, you'll see. So you can see the public safety building, the debenture for that is completed in 2018, so that will come off the books. Our rescue pumper has an original balance of $472,000. There's still a principal of $211,000 remaining, which gives us an annual payment of $58,000, an interest rate of 4%, and it's completed in 2021. You can see the same for UCN Drive, the original balance. It will be completed in 2022. The GB parking lot, when you look at the annual payment of $20,000, that's in partnership with Nickel Days. So that's a partnership agreement we have with them, and that's completed in 2023. TRCC, obviously the big one, and it will be completed in 2027, along with recreation projects of 2027. UCN Drive in Burntwood South, completed in 2028. You can see Norplex Pool has an original balance of $340,000. There's an asterisk with the interest rate being 3.875% because we haven't booked the money yet for that, so it will be determined at the time the debenture is taken. So right now we're just using the current interest rate to show you. Under our controlled entities, it was council's direction this year to have our controlled entities utilize any surpluses or money that they had. We're in the fifth year of the debt reduction strategy being implemented. So the Thompson Recycle Center has a $74,078 annually payment for 15 years, and the Thompson Zoological Society $19,214 annually for 10 years. These are our controlled entities. You can see what they were given in 2017 and what they will be given in 2018. The Thompson Housing Agency will receive $50,000, as the same as it was in 2017. The Thompson Public Library will see a payment of $237,500, and in 2017 they received $245,000. The Thompson Zoological Society will see a payment of $60,000 compared to $85,000 in 2017. The Thompson Recycling Center will see a payment of $160,000 compared to their $240,000 payment in 2017.
At face value, that's a huge reduction year over year, but we did meet with the recycling board and staff to discuss two things. One, the surplus that they had. Over the number of years, they were anticipating replacing their baler. That's the main machine that packages the product to be shipped south to market. That monies was put in reserve annually to cover that cost. They have enough money to replace that baler this year, and they have enough money left over in that to deal with any unknowns in regards to capital purchases or emergency breakdowns. So from the operational side, this organization, through the leadership of the board and the staff, have been able to reduce their operating cost annually year over year, and each year they've been able to streamline their operation. So we want to congratulate the recycling center on the work that they continue to do. This reduction will see no reduction in service to the residents of Thompson. The service provided will continue as is, and we will try to assist the recycling center in identifying new markets. One of the ones that they've brought to us and that we are researching in regard to the recycling of cardboard. Currently, we accept cardboard at the landfill, but it is a cash product for the recycling center. And so if more people would recycle cardboard, that would be two things: less cardboard in our landfill, and secondly, additional revenue to the recycling center. So as a city, we will be looking at possibilities to increase awareness of that and moving towards trying to get more recycling of cardboard to the center, which again reduces the amount of volume at the landfill and increases the revenue stream for the recycling center.
We also have some community groups. So in 2018, this financial plan includes the following contributions to community groups. The museum in 2018 will receive $61,500 compared to $62,500 in 2017. Our homeless shelter will receive $20,000 compared to $22,500 in 2017. Our curling club is $9,000 and $9,000 the previous year, and that's a city-owned facility, and we pay half of the insurance on the building. The Humane Society, which is a fee-for-service base, so it's basically the same, projecting at $31,126. In 2017, Spirit Way was given $10,000, and then in Spirit Way there was a sign that was given in 2017, $4,277, and the Chamber of Commerce in 2017 was given $4,875. The Chamber of Commerce one, just to note, that was the tourism study and presentation that was at Council on Monday evening. So those three will not be receiving funds in 2018. Under our capital funding, this year again, there'll be 0 property tax dollars that have been required for the purchase of capital, and this is for the 6th consecutive year. A debenture was budgeted in 2018 and is included in the financial plan for the Norplex pool. This will still leave sufficient room to meet the wastewater treatment plant requirements. That was something that I mentioned earlier under the debenture slide. So these are our sources of capital funding and where we get them from. So we receive 30% from gas tax, 16% comes from our infrastructure reserve, 16% from grants, 14% from landfill, 11% from debentures and borrowing, 8% from the equipment reserve, 1% from the building reserve, 3% from the public safety reserve, 2% from other reserves, and 1% comes from trusts. This is going to tell you what the capital projects are going to be for 2018. So you will see we have a capital project on Station Road. There'll be a map to follow. It's going to value at $850,000, and it's going to be funded out of our gas tax revenue and our municipal road grant. We'll also be purchasing a transit bus at a value of $400,000. This is coming from the equipment reserve and the PTIF funding. There'll be some road rehabilitation work, milling, valued at $225,000, and this will be funded from the gas tax, and there'll be a map to show that. Be doing the equipment exhaust system and overhead doors at Public Works at a value of $175,000. This will be funded from the infrastructure reserve. We'll be doing some more multi-use paths coming in at $160,000 and funded by gas tax. Be doing the City Hall air conditioning valued at $150,000 coming from the infrastructure reserve. And the Burntwood Trailer Court drainage is valued at $125,000 and it's coming from gas tax. Some more capital projects. There'll be some equipment upgrades, some half tons, 3/4 tons, Snowgate, Bobcat, water slide platform upgrades, lockers for the Norplex pool and diesel pump, coming in at $269,000 for a value funded by the infrastructure reserve, public safety reserve, building reserve, and landfill revenues. Some small capital, underfloor heat exchanger, air handling system at Norplex pool, valued at $170,000, coming from the infrastructure reserve and public safety reserve. Some safety projects will be the replacement of 5 SCBAs and a gear washing machine, valued at $70,000, coming out of our public safety reserve. Landfill capital will be the landfill leachate study and the monitoring of wells. This is valued at $60,000 and it will come out of our landfill revenues. And there's some completion of 2017 capital carryover projects still, and that's at $1,446,407, and it's still to come out of reserves and debentures. This here will show you, I told you about the Station Road project. This is the paving project on Station Road. My far right is going to be where Robin's Donuts is, and it's going to go all the way to the four-way stop at McMunnin, Yates, and Lambert's. So that'll be the Station Road project this year. Yeah, that's right. And then this represents some of the milling work for capital projects. You can see there'll be some more work done on Wolf Street, on Hayes Road, Elizabeth Drive, Nickel Road, and Brandon Crescent. So this kind of represents, we have these hot spots that we've identified and we have an ongoing list. We know there's more than that, but this is really all that we can afford to do for this year. So this is the continuation of kind of this program with the list of hot spots around town. If you guys wanted to add anything to that.
Just in regards to the milling program versus the road replacement, the Station Road project is a typical road replacement where we have to excavate. The base is basically unsuitable, so we have to excavate, refill, pack, and repave. Through this council's decisions and review with Public Works and our staff, it's been determined that there is a more efficient way of getting more done where bases are not jeopardized or if they've shown to be intact, where we mill off, basically grind off the top 2 inches of pavement. We regrind it and then lay it back down as asphalt. That way the road life can be extended up to 10 more years without having to disturb the base. And as Councillor Valentino talked about, we have a lot of hot spots in our community where the road is deteriorating, but the base is still good. So these ones included in this year's budget are the priorities, and we will continue to prioritize in the coming years, continuing a milling program as well.
This slide represents the Burntwood Trailer Court drainage project, the capital project on this. You can see in the red is where the new catch basins and the LDS lines are going to be. And last year they were on Oswego, correct? So this is a continuation of that project for the catch basins to improve the drainage in the Burntwood Trailer Court. This is the multi-use pathway, and it's going to be the continuation of this project, and it's going to go on Princeton Drive to Mystery Lake Road. Under the debentures, the parameters of this 2018 budget included no additional debentures, which will leave sufficient room for the debt requirements of the wastewater treatment plant, which is planned to be completed in 2019. The following debentures are going to be carried forward from 2017 and will be used in 2018. It includes the UCN Drive debenture of $155,000 and the Norplex Pool debenture of $340,000. And these are all identified in that chart earlier. Talking about the utility now, the Public Utilities Board, which I think we're all aware of, has approved our 2018 rates through Board Order 49/18. The 2018 water rates are set at $2.39 per cubic meter, and the sewer rates are set at $1.28 per cubic meter. The 2018 flat fee is $135.61, compared to 2017 when it was $123.03, and this includes 14 cubic meters of water. The water treatment plant was transferred to the City of Thompson on January 1st of 2018. So now 50% of the costs of that are allocated to the city, and 50% will be to Valet for 2018. Utility capital. The 2018 capital expenses are going to include the wastewater treatment plant, water main renewal plans, the equipment for vehicles, recreation dump site, and some pavement on Brandon. This is going to represent where our 2018 water main capital projects are going to take place. There'll be a section on Nickel Road, a section on Brandon Crescent, a section on Fox Bay, and then a section on Thompson Drive. This represents our utility, so in thousands. So you can see our 2018 revenue out of our utility we project to be $7,512,000, and it also projects our 2018 utility expenses to be $7,512,000. None of this will include the wastewater treatment plant yet of $36.5 million. So the purple part on top represents to you the capital purchases that's going to come out of our utility dollars. There's a thin little bit of yellow line in there, and that represents what our utility is for debt repayment. The red represents the operating expenses for our sewer, and the blue on the bottom represents our water operating expenses. So all this is going to tell us what our mill rate comparison is. So this is going to be now the residential mill rate comparisons. So I have 2018 and then 2017, then we'll represent the difference. So the school district of Mystery Lake levy for 2018, the mill rate is going to be 18.624. In 2017, that was 18.578. So there is an increase of 0.25%, or a difference of. The City of Thompson levy 2018 mill rate will be 21.807 compared to 21.400. Which represents a difference of 1.90%. So your total residential mill rate for 2018 is going to be 40.431 compared to 39.978 in 2017, which results in a difference of 1.13%. Commercially, the mill rate comparison is going to be under the Provincial Education Support Levy in 2018, it was 9.770. 2017, it was 10.500. So there is a difference of in the negative of 6.95%. The School District of Mystery Lake levy will be 18.624 mill rate, and 2017 mill rate was 18.578 for a difference of 0.25%. And the City of Thompson levy for the commercial mill rate will be 21.807 in 2018 compared to 21.4 in 2017 for a 1.90% difference. So the total commercial mill rate for 2018 is going to be 50.201 compared to 2017, which was 50.478. So there is a difference of not a loss, but of a negative of 0.55%. So this is going to be show you how it results you for your house taxes. So if your house was assessed at $200,000 in 2017 and in 2018, this is going to show you what your net taxes will be. And the house value of $200,000 is the average assessed amount for a City of Thompson house. So that's why we've used this. So the assessment, $200,000 in the top row. The school district of Mystery Lake levy for 2018 will be $1,676 compared to the 2017 amount, which was $1,672. So it's a $4 increase or a 0.25% change. City of Thompson levy for 2018 will be $1,963 compared to 2017, which was $1,926. So it's a $37 change or a 1.90% change. So your total taxes for 2018 under the mill rate will be $3,639 compared to 2017 it was $3,598. So it's an increase of $41 or 1.13%. Then you take off the provincial rebate of $700 off of your property tax bill. So your net taxes would be $2,939 in 2018 compared to the 2017 amount of $2,898, which is the $41 change, which is a 1.41% change. So if you have a commercial property assessed at $1 million in 2018 and 2017, this is what your taxes will look at. So your assessment across the board is $1 million. Your provincial education support levy based on 2018 will be $6,350 compared to last year of $6,825. So there's a difference of $475 and there's a change of 6.95% reduction. School district of Mystery Lake levy will be $12,106 compared to last year of $12,076, which is a $30 change or a 0.25% increase. City of Thompson levy is $14,175 compared to last year at $13,910 for a $265 increase or a 1.90% change. So your total taxes on a $1 million commercial property will be $32,631 compared to last year it was $32,811. So it is actually less $108 or less 0.55%. Did I say that wrong?
180, you said 108.
Oh, sorry, $180 less or less 0.55%. Thank you. So this is a tax result, this slide showing you a business assessment of $100,000. So the business tax rate for 2018 has been decreased by 5.6%. So in 2018, the rate of 3.99% would give you a business tax rate of $3,990. In 2017, it was $4,240. So it's a decrease of $250 or a decrease of 5.6%. And this is based on the assessment of the business reflecting the annual rental value of the property that this business is occupying. Special levies. So this 2018 financial plan includes revenue that will come from the special levy. And a special levy is for the water, storm, and sewer service line maintenance. And in 2018, the amount will be $352,155. And this amount is estimated at $108.69 per residence. And it's based on the cost. So 2017, the amount per resident was $83.80. This bylaw 1937-2016 was passed by council on April the 11th, 2016 for the years of 2016 to 2020. So what does all of this mean? It means if you own a home with the average assessment of $200,000, you're going to pay the following taxes. To the City of Thompson, you will pay $1,962. To the School District of Mystery Lake, you will pay them $1,676. So your total taxes before the education tax credit is $3,638. Then we take off the provincial education tax credit of $700. So your total net taxes payable are going to be $2,938. So what does that all mean? It means that you pay to the City of Thompson for your property taxes $1,962. In effect, when you pay that, you're paying to purchase the following programs. So in 2018, you're going to be paying out of that $221 for general government. You're going to be paying $768 for protective services. You will pay $386 out of that for transportation. You will pay $66 for environmental health services. You will pay $25 for public health and welfare. You will pay $1 for environmental development. You will pay $28 for economic development. You will pay $319 for recreation, and you will pay $148 for debenture payments. And the other side of the column represents what you paid for 2017. So for each category under general government, for the amount you're paying of $221, you're paying for council and council expenditures. You're paying for the administrative functions, city manager, finance, HR, IT, purchasing, legal fees, and communications. You're paying for the insurance on all of the city buildings, the assessment services, and the election costs. For the amount of $768, you're paying for protective services. And this covers $587 for RCMP, which includes 38 RCMP members plus support staff, $109 for fire and ambulance services, which operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It includes 24 fire medics, as well as 5 emergency medical dispatchers, auxiliary firefighters, 2 deputies, and the chief. It includes $72 for our community safety officers, our bylaw officers, animal control, and the building inspectors. For transportation services, your annual amount is $386, and in that you are paying for the snow removal on streets and sidewalks, the repair of streets, the paving and patching of them, street cleaning, the sidewalk and curb repairs, street lighting, transit buses, and handy van. Under the environmental health services, the annual cost is $66, and you pay for the garbage collection, recycling program, our spring cleanup program, and the removal of waste and community garbage and recycling cans. Public health and welfare services, you pay an annual amount of $25, and you are paying for our cemetery, the care and maintenance of it, and the social assistance payments to the province of Manitoba. Under economic development services, you're paying an annual amount of $28, and you pay for the planning and development department, which deals with all planning and development issues within the City of Thompson and the Thompson Planning District. You're also paying for the economic development officer. Under recreation and cultural services, it represents $319, and that annual amount you pay for the TRCC, the CA Nesbitt Arena, the Gordon Beard Arena, the Bill Kamaski Wellness Center, and our walking track. Pay for the Norplex pool. You pay for the 3 outdoor rinks, the 2 wading pools and splash park. Pays for the tennis courts, the skate park, and all area parks and dog park. Pays for the ball diamonds and our soccer fields. It pays for the Millennium Trail, our brushing program, the museum contribution, the Thompson Public Library, the Thompson Zoological Society, or Boreal Discovery Center. For debentures, the annual payment is $148, and for that you're paying for debt for projects that have previously been implemented within our city. Some of these projects are our TRCC phases, our park projects, which include Skate Park, Cliff Park, McLean Park, the RCMP building, UCN Drive, and Fire Truck. That's the actual end of this financial presentation. I'll now hand it back over to Mayor Fensky.
Thank you, Councilor Valentino, for going over that presentation. And again, thanks to the Finance Department for preparing the slides and the background information for that. We now move into the part of the public hearing where we will hear questions for and against the financial plan for 2018. So I would ask the general public, if you want to come forward and ask any questions, please come to the delegation desk, introduce yourself, write your name down and your address, and feel free to ask your questions. Are there any questions from the general public? Yep. Welcome, Ms. Taylor.
My name's Lynn Taylor, for those of you who don't know me. And I think I know all too well all the work that goes behind the budget and everything, and it took a lot for me to come forward tonight because I have a particular concern, and that's with the cuts in the recreation area, in particular the summer camps. As you know, there's a very urgent lack of daycare spaces in this community, and I really feel that by canceling all of the summer camps for the children that you did serve in the last couple of years, it's going to really impact on the parents who can't get daycare for their children during the summertime. I don't know what can be done or if anything can be done at this point now that the decision's been made, but I really hope that you can take a second look at it, and the costs that you've passed on to the parents for those kids that are attending the camps have been minimal, and I think that people can, daycare fees are usually $18 to $30 a day, so $5 a day is not a reasonable amount to be charging. If you're not recovering your costs, then I can understand that, but I really am concerned about all the children that are going to be left as latchkey kids for the summer, and we want people to stay here in this community, and if we don't provide those kind of services, I don't know where we're going to be.
Just in response to that, understanding your concern with the programs, council and administration reviewed the budget in those items and tried to reduce where the impact would be minimized as much as possible, understanding this is a direct impact on those that were using that service. Administration, through the fee and fine schedule, recommended a fee increase to increase the cost of recovery, and council of the day decided not to go with that route at that time. So the fees were not raised at that time. But certainly we can take note of your discussions. There is opportunity to discuss the budget at the next council meeting. It's had first reading just to get it on the table, but certainly your concerns have been raised and recognized, and we'll raise them again. Thank you. Any other questions from the general public? Please come forward, state your name and your address, please.
Page 3, line number 32311. I think I have asked this question last year about the road maintenance, which is possibly the potholes repair, right? And last year I said, why the budget so low? Right? That is what, $143,000 plus, and the material is $107,000 plus. So you end up, last year actual is double what it is. And I don't understand why this year you have to budget $151,000. So we expect $300,000. And the material also $107,000. So do you think it's a bit low on this part of the budget?
I think the partial answer to that in that last year, the number, if you'll recall, that we had an exorbitant amount of road repairs due to the freeze thaw. We had intersections fail, we had sections of road fail. We did not have that experience this spring. And so if you look at the previous year before 2017, you look at that the experience was more to the normal. So not that we can see into the future, but certainly looking at the normal costs for road reparation, it was the recommendation of staff that budget line be at that amount.
Okay, so if you look at page 4, 32330, sidewalk and boulevard, and you have a budget of $349,000 for last year $399,000, end up $340,000, and then this year you budget $324,000. So you give more money to the sidewalk and the brewer than the pothole repair. Go back to page 3 again, and 2650, which is bylaw enforcement. I think it's a CSO program, right? And you budget 945,000, end up spend 805,000. And as I understand, you reduce the number of CSO, why you still budget for 810,000?
The line item doesn't just include the CSOs, it's all of our bylaw enforcement. And so we have had to absorb additional costs from the reduction in the grant from the province of Manitoba that expired in May of 2017. And so that's the total cost of CSO program plus other bylaw enforcement.
Okay. Can you turn to page 5? Page 5. Okay, the swimming pool. 8130. So swimming pool, the budget expenditure, and last year you budget 919,000, end up spending $1.17 million. And this year is your budget for $880,000. So do you think you got enough?
This reflects, again, the last year actual reflects some unknowns or unexpected repairs that we had to do. And so we're looking at forecasting back to the normal operation of the Norplex pool.
Oh, this one I don't understand what it is. Page 4, 5186. Can you explain me the NANATOWIHOWIKAMIK? What does that mean?
Sorry, could you give me that number again?
5186, page 4.
That's the official name of the homeless shelter.
Oh, that's special language. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And do you want me to write my name down?
Yes, please, your name and address.
Okay then.
Okay, any other questions from the general public? Second time? Third and final? Seeing none, the hearing comes to a close. And just for advice of the general public, the first reading of the levy bylaw was done at the last council meeting. So the process, the next process is, we've already had our staff meetings and gone over this presentation with our staff. This is the public hearing portion of that process. The next process is to come to the next regular meeting and have the second and third reading of the levy bylaw, which by law, we have, by the municipal act, we have to have submitted to the province of Manitoba by May 15th. And so if you have any other questions between now and that meeting, please contact either Mr. Sepatelli or Jenny Krentz, our CFO. Other than that, I invite you to the next council meeting to ask questions during inquiries or to listen to the debate on the levy bylaw. I'll go to Mr. Sepatelli for a comment.
Yeah, just indicate, so that next council meeting is slated for May the 7th, of which second and third reading of the levy bylaw will come forth. And based on the presentation tonight, we'll ensure that this presentation is up on the website tomorrow.
Thank you. So again, May 7th, 7 p.m., these chambers for the next council meeting and the second and third reading of the levy bylaw. With that, I'll look for a motion to adjourn. Councillor Valentino, Deputy Mayor Smook, all in favor? Carried. We stand adjourned. Have a good evening.